he's just lying.
Yeah. It's such a blatant lie, all of it. But for 6,000 years, it's all Aziraphale has been doing. Lying to his superiors, to himself, about what was going on between him and Crowley. Him and Crowley, sorry.
Him! Oh yes, every time I say it's like a him now.
No. We're not doing that.
I would love it.
They were never enemies.
Enemies?
Really? We are being serious. This is a serious part of the story. They were supposed to be. Everything around them had tried to pitch them one against another, but nothing could ever truly break them apart. Until season 2! Until season 2! That thought would usually be enough to give Aziraphale even an ounce of confidence. But at the moment, Jeem is getting closer, and that is enough for Aziraphale's rational thoughts to stop abruptly.
So Jeem is just trying to get closer to Aziraphale here.
Yeah, they're trying to be buddies now.
Buddies?
Yeah.
Just like friendly, touchy buddies, I guess.
Getting really close. Into another's, one another's personal space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like this.
Okay. Let's get closer.
Aziraphale, I know what has been going on between you and the demon.
Jeem says, voice laced with thinly veiled anger.
Everyone knows. And everyone wants to put a stop to it. Heaven, hell! Do not think we will ever stop going after you and him, Aziraphale.
Aziraphale takes another step back and he hits a wall. He presses up against it while Jeem crowds him, gives him no room to get away.
He's getting really close here.
Yeah.
Like, okay. We will always be watching you. You will never get away from us.
Aziraphale swallows thickly. Jeem lifts his hand.
Try again. You pathetic excuse for an angel.
He snaps his fingers and everything turns black.
Don't tell me this is the end. Don't tell me.
Aziraphale is fairly sure he hasn't closed his eyes. As he floats in the heavy, all-encompassing blackness, it takes him a moment to realize that all he needs to do is blink. And that's what he does. He blinks, the darkness clears away. He blinks and the darkness clears away. With his eyes open, he finds himself back in one of heaven's many corridors. He feels cold and alone and considers that perhaps he has liked the darkness better. It seemed far more comforting than the blinding white of the walls surrounding him.
Who's this? Me?
Do you mean the voice?
Aziraphale!
A voice somewhere behind him, right next to his ear. The angel gasps as he hurriedly turns around, lifting his arms protectively. It's Jeem, of course. Still smiling, his head tilted in a strangely unnatural way. Aziraphale isn't taken aback by the sight of him, but he's certainly not happy either. This is his nightmare, his punishment, heaven, and one of his superiors constantly getting closer and closer, mocking him and making sure that Aziraphale knows he can't escape.
Was it maybe also like a bad dream that he had? Something? Or is it like the same Jeem from before? That he's actually trying to make it like a nightmare for him? So should I still make like my angry voice? Or should I be like a little bit more happy?
I don't remember, to be honest. You don't remember? Yeah.
I will change Jeem's voice now.
So, do it.
Aziraphale! It is so good to see you after all this time!
It's eerie. Jeem, repeating himself. Another reminder of how none of this is real, yet all of it is so truly horrifying.
I didn't think you would come back after what you and your hellish boyfriend did.
Jim continues as if nothing was wrong, as if all of this was perfectly normal. You're not real, Aziraphale stammers. He is still holding his arms out in front of himself, still trying to keep away from the Archangel.
Oh, but Aziraphale, I am real. And that's the problem, isn't it? That I'm somewhere up here, waiting for you, looking for you.
Okay, we are waiting. Aziraphale shakes his head. He doesn't know. They don't know. That was the point, that they wouldn't find out the truth and that they'd finally leave them alone. That they'd be free.
And it's not just me, Aziraphale.
Jim continues, as if reading Aziraphale's mind.
We all know, hell knows, and what do you think they will do to the demons that you care so much about?
Aziraphale is painfully aware of what would happen to Crowley if Hell found out. He's been through it himself, so he does know. Shit.
The story makes you very hungry, I guess. Crowley. He will die, Aziraphale!
Jim's voice gets so much louder. Suddenly he's in front of Aziraphale. Just like the previous time. Except this time Gabriel isn't so much targeting Aziraphale as he's targeting both of them. And Aziraphale can't stand for that. He'd rather die than let anything happen to Crowley. I won't let... He doesn't get to finish. Jim laughs and slaps his fingers. Everything is black.
Aziraphale!
The screams rips itself from Crowley's throat, guttural, angry and horrified. He rushes forward, the door that has just closed in front of him, keeping him away from his angel.
From his angel? Yeah, it's his angel.
He grabs the handle, tugs and wrestles it for a while. All he sees is red. All the calm that has seemingly washed over him just moments ago is suddenly gone, abruptly taken away from him. He tightens his hands into fists and pounds on the door, but nothing happens. Nothing ever happens when he tries to break something in here. And oh, does he want to break something now?
He was already trying to break like the window and it didn't work, so we have to break something now, I guess.
Yep. He keeps on going for a while, screams and kicks and punches until eventually he feels the fight leave him. He leans forward and presses his forehead against the door, closes his eyes. He wasn't supposed to lose Aziraphale again. He has already been through this once, and he couldn't handle it happen one more time. He loses track of time as he stands there, practically clinging to the door that has taken the angel away from him.
I'm going to rip this sodding place to pieces,
he grumbles as he finally pulls away from it. He takes a step back, trying to ignore how unsteady his legs feel. He glares at the door for another moment, tries to pour all his rage into it, a part of him hoping that would somehow be enough to get it to open. But it remains as closed as ever, because this whole place seems to hate Crowley with a burning passion. He shakes his head and turns around, only to immediately stop in his tracks. This is not his flat anymore. His flat is not so dark, so damp and ugly, and it is definitely not covered in atrocious motivational posters all over the walls. Not to mention the blooming plants that are now gone. This is hell, quite literally.
Great, so we're doing this now?
Crowley says loudly to no one in particular. He doubts anyone is listening.
I'm done with all these stupid games, okay?
He walks forward as he keeps talking.
Give me my bloody angel back, or I swear to.
He stops, tilts his head and narrows his eyes as he seems to sees some movement somewhere in front of him. He's not alone then.
Oi!
Crowley calls out as he begins to walk again, picking up his pace. He can't yet make out who it is that's hiding in the shadows.
You! I'm talking to you! Yes!
And that's when the figure steps out of the darkness, and Crowley recognizes them. He also definitely recognizes the flies that surround the head.
Beelzebub. Oh! Beelzebub, my lord!
Crowley drawls, bowing dramatically towards the other demon, who just squints at him, crossing their arms on top of their chest.
Do you want to? Or is it
Fan-
still me?
I think it's still you.
Fancy seeing you in here!
Do you really think you have any reason to laugh right now, Crowley? Beelzebub steps closer, but still keeps a fair amount of distance from Crowley.
Okay, shortly, Beelzebub actually knows what personal space is.
Yeah.
In contrast to Jim!
Jim!
Jim! I'm not laughing!
He answers, smiling dryly at the other demon.
In fact, I'm very far from laughter right now.
He continues, now walking forward again.
Not even real, are you? Nothing in this place is real, so why would you be?
He hisses, leaning down so that they're both on eye level with each other. Beelzebub stares back at him, unwavering. Crowley takes a good look at them, tries to find anything that would seem out of the ordinary, but the Lord is exactly the same as Crowley remembers them. I don't think it matters if I'm real or not, traitor, Beelzebub says, tipping their head back when Crowley stands up straight. What matters is what you're going to do now.
So what are we going to do? What is that even supposed to mean?
Crowley grumbles. He is tired of how cryptic this whole thing has been. Letters and locked doors and memories that should not be brought up ever again. And now this. You are back where you belong.
What? You mean some messed up house of mysteries that's obsessed with me and Aziraphale?
No, Crowley, I mean hell. Beelzebub raises their voice, already growing impatient with Crowley's antics.
Ah, what? Hell!
Crowley presses his lips together and nods, swaying on his heels. He shoves his hands into his pockets, twists, as he lets his eyes sweep over the familiar walls.
Good old hell! Looks just like I remember it. Now let's skip to the most interesting part.
He stops moving abruptly, leans in closer to Beelzebub and grits out.
How the hell do I get out of here?
And Beelzebub smirks. Beelzebub bloody smirks at him.
Bloody smirks at him. He never smirks at him, I guess.
They never smirk. You don't, they say calmly. This is where you belong, Crowley. You fell here and now you're going to die here. You're a demon and that's never going to change. Instantly, Crowley's expression darkens. He lets out air through his nose. He tries to keep himself calm, he really does, but he's already been on edge ever since he and Aziraphale have found themselves stuck there. Now, with the angel gone, he supposes he doesn't have to hold back anymore. He moves, swift and quick, as he grabs Beelzebub by the throat and pushes them up against a nearby wall.
No personal space anymore.
Yeah, Crowley doesn't know what personal space is.
Yeah, he doesn't know what it is.
He's taken aback when the Lord laughs at him. Crowley squeezes harder, but that only makes the other demon laugh louder and louder, the flies buzzing along as if they were laughing at him as well.
And what is so funny to you?
Crowley growls, getting himself as close to Beelzebub as he possibly can. This is what I mean, Crowley. Beelzebub Beelzebub's laugh suddenly cuts off. Their expression turns into something serious, stern. You were made for this, for hell, for destruction. You were never supposed to be an angel. You are, what was it called? You said to that angel of yours, you are unforgivable.
But he actually, like, forgave Aziraphale? But Aziraphale...
Aziraphale forgives Crowley much too often.
Yeah! What is wrong with her? Can they just not leave them alone in heaven?
Crowley wants to squeeze harder. He wants to see Beelzebub fall apart under his fingers, no matter if they are real or just a figment of his imagination. But something stops him. He's not sure why really or how either, but he hesitates. Beelzebub's words ringing over and over in his head. Those words are what Crowley has heard for most of his long, long existence. He is a demon, cruel, tempting, horrible. He must have fallen for a reason. Many times he has wondered what was it that he had done that was so wrong that he deserved to have his angelic status suddenly ripped away from him. But at the end of the day, all he could think of were questions that he's been asking ever since he's been created, and that he didn't think he'd ever stop asking. And that on its own was enough to turn him into a being that's unforgivable. He lets go of Beelzebub's throat. What are you doing? Beelzebub is far too alarmed for someone that has just been released from a nearly deadly grip.
I'm not unforgivable.
Crowley snarls in response, a corner of his mouth twitching as he breaks into a cheeky smile.
Should I say, even if the whole blasting universe thinks I'm unforgivable, I don't give a bloody damn.
His smile widens. He backs away from Beelzebub, and there's something easy in his step now.
And you wanna know why?
Beelzebub's face is completely blank as they look back at him, but that's not important. Crowley isn't really talking to them anyway.
Because in this whole sorting universe, there's only one person that matters. And he has forgiven me. Oh.
At this point, Crowley's grin is bright and surprisingly cheerful considering the circumstances. There's softness in his eyes, too. Perhaps if anyone else saw him in that particular moment, they'd think he had lost his mind. And maybe they'd be right. But clearly losing his mind is exactly what he needs, because as soon as he stops talking, a door swings open. A bright light flashes from the doorway, and Crowley already knows what it means. He's ready now.
See you later, boss!
He makes a mock salute, and then he's off, running for the door, running for Aziraphale.
So it's actually... more about, how's it called? The inner acceptance of the situation, kind of. It feels like they're going through some kind of trauma here.
Yeah. Aziraphale has lost track of how many times he has gone through the same pattern. Jim snaps his fingers. Everything goes black. Aziraphale wakes up in heaven. Jim snaps his fingers again. He's tried to talk his way out of it. He's tried to keep Jim talking just to buy himself more time. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. And at this point, Aziraphale is getting tired of it. Tired of being pushed around. After all, they have stopped the Armageddon. They have gotten away from heaven and hell, so why would he still have to listen? Why would someone that's not even real scare him so much?
Well, Aziraphale, I think it's time for you too.
No. It's so simple, so short, and yet Jim looks taken aback.
What? Did you just say?
I said no. Jim looks at him blankly. It's almost as if he had just seen a ghost, which is ironic considering their current circumstances. I don't have to listen to you. Not anymore. Aziraphale continues, his brows furrowed. He glares at the Archangel stubbornly. I spent so long being so afraid of the consequences that my friendship with Crowley could have on both of us. And even after we broke free, I was still so scared, thinking that one of you, he points a finger at Gabriel's chest, would show up to take me away or to hurt Crowley. But just now I've realized something. Aziraphale pushes himself away from the wall, and this time it's Gabriel who takes a step back. I've realized that Crowley and me, we are stronger than all of you. As he talks, his expression turns to something fonder when he mentions the demon. A similar look to the one he gets whenever they are together. We have each other, and none of you have managed to take that away from us in all 6,000 years. There is a pause then. Aziraphale doesn't look straight at Jim anymore. His eyes drift to some place right over the Archangel's shoulder, though he's not looking at anything in particular. I thought I could protect him by pushing him away, he says quieter. But I was wrong. A door bursts open.
Hey, Angel!
Aziraphale's eyes widen and then he smiles, something so relieved and gentle when he sees Crowley walking towards them. Crowley, he breathes out. Jim turns around and Crowley grins, not all bothered by the Archangel's presence. He looks incredibly relaxed. Time to sort off, Jim, he hums and snaps his fingers, all while walking towards them. Oh, no, it's you.
No, it's me, okay. I was imagining that Aziraphale is like, yeah, let's go. Bro. Time to sort off, Jim.
He hums and snaps his fingers, all while walking towards them.
Look at me. What I can do.
Oh, fuck off.
This is what Aziraphale says to Jim. Or to Crowley, I guess? Time to sort off, Jim. And then Jim is just like, oh, fuck off.
I have to, put something over there.